Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday. So today I thought I would review somebody who was on the past season of Brains versus Beauty versus Brawn. Today I wanted to review Tony Vlachos. Pretty sure that's how you say his last name. Tony was on the Survivor season Cagayan, which was the first Brains versus Beauty versus Brawn season, and he was on the Brawn tribe. I saw something in Tony when I first saw him in the first episode. I immediately saw him and I thought that he's going to be the winner. And the Brawn tribe did excellent in challenges. They either came in first in a lot of them or they placed second. I believe their first tribal council they were at, they voted off Cliff, who was an ex-NBA star, and Tony saw him as a threat, which he kind of was. He was a challenge. He was kind of a challenge threat going forward, so it'd make it hard for Tony to actually win challenges against Cliff. So they voted him off, and then right when they vote Cliff off, his little accomplice, I don't recall her name, but she ended up quitting because he was voted off and she was all by herself then. And I don't condone quitting on Survivor, no matter how the situation is. You don't quit. You stick it out. Tony definitely kept a secret. He wanted to keep a secret that he was a cop. And Sarah, who was on the Brawn tribe, who's a cop, automatically saw Tony and knew that he was a cop. And he lied to her, saying that he was in construction. And for the longest time, he didn't reveal to her that he was a cop, but he eventually did, and they try to form this alliance here, and she tells him to swear on his badge, and he says, "I swear on my badge." And I actually thought those two would make a really good alliance going forward. I thought those are two strong competitors, and they would make it far. Because Tony had an alliance also with Wu and Trish. Trish seemed to be his right-hand man throughout the whole series, and the whole season, and kind of backed him up and spoke for him. And Wu kind of rode Tony's coattails a little bit because he was good in some challenges, but I don't know, there's something about Wu, he just didn't really do that much compared to the other people. And what was interesting about Tony is that he was definitely the idol king of that season. He found a ton of idols, and I believe he was good in challenges, but I believe his weakness was trying to solve puzzles. But he found a couple idols. I'm not sure how many there were, but what was interesting about him is he changed the game a little bit on Survivor, because he actually made a spy shack, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So he could spy on his tribe mates and see what they're thinking about tribal council or the other tribe mates, or what they're thinking about Tony. And when they make it to the merge, most of the Brawn tribe makes it to the merge, and they decide to vote Sarah off, which I liked Sarah. I thought she would be a good contender going forward, but I could see why they voted her off, because she was a physical threat and she was the only one that knew Tony was a cop. And you see him, Trish, and Wu still have a pretty strong alliance going forward, and they don't really get along with the other tribe too well. In fact, Cass and Tony ended up having a screaming match with each other, and I think Tony even compared Cass to a llama and was even making llama noises at her, which I think that was pretty rude on Tony's part. But I don't know, it made good entertainment watching them two go at it. And Trish, Tony ended up sending home because of her loyalty, because she was so loyal to him. That was a threat to the jury, and she had a lot of jury votes because she was very well liked. So this season, they actually went back to having a final two, which they haven't done in a while, and it came down to Wu winning the final immunity challenge, and he had a choice to choose to bring Tony or Cass to the finals. And I wanted Tony to win. I hope he would win. So, but in Wu's best interest, he was probably better off bringing Cass going forward. But he chose to bring Tony because he wanted to prove to the jury that he was loyal, and it worked out in Tony's favor because he won Survivor Cagayan. I was so happy to see him win. It was definitely a unanimous vote, and he deserved it. It was definitely his season. He won a lot of the challenges. He was probably one of the most popular people on there. He changed the game of Survivor, and he was just a really funny guy. The one complaint that I've kind of heard people say about Tony is the fact that he swore on his badge, and he swore on his kid, he swore on his wife, he swore on his dead father, and people didn't like that. He's like, oh, that doesn't mean anything, that doesn't mean anything. And me personally, I kind of think that means something when you say that, but I just think Tony was awesome. Besides Boston Rob, he's my second favorite castaway to ever come out of the game, and I hope there's more people like Tony. I really do miss Tony this season. I don't know if we have any characters like Tony yet on the Braun Tribe, but we'll have to wait and see. So I hope you enjoyed this Tony Vlachos review, and I hope you can tune in to watch Survivor. If you want to watch Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. I hope you enjoyed this Tony review, and until next time, stay regal.